Hey guys, Mark Allen for BHSpringSolutions LLC and BHSpringSolutions.com, and we're making this video in April 2019, and this is all about the Arcus 98DA and Arcus 98DAC pistols. And these are not currently in production today, but these are maybe the most underrated handgun ever to be imported into the United States. And the main reason is because there's just not that much known about them, other than they are a variant of the high power pistol. And one of the things that is not commonly known is Arcus delivered orders to 15 different countries, military, police, or security forces, starting with Iraq. And Iraq's new security forces back in the early mid-2000s was when the 98DA and DAC went into use in Iraq, and 14 other countries followed. And there weren't that many of these pistols that actually came into the United States. This is the 98DAC version. The full-size version is about 5/8 inch longer barrel and slide, and the grip frame on the DA model, the full size, is longer and accommodates a 15-round magazine. The DAC is what we're showing you today, and this has a 13-round, it's a high-power magazine. Any high-power magazine will work in the double-action compact pistols. The difference in this and a high-power pistol or a compact high-power is this is a double-action, single-action handgun. It shares many of the same parts and springs and components of the high-power pistol. The fire control group and the trigger subassembly areas have been redesigned in order to accommodate double action, single action. We don't have any ammunition in the pistol or in the room, and I am going to be doing some dry firing. So you have this double action trigger pull, and it is a brick. This is not a CZ75 double action trigger pull. It is harsh. However, it has a single action trigger pull that we scaled between 4 1/4 and 4.5 pounds, and it is just a sweetheart of a trigger pull. The double action trigger pull, it is harsh. I don't have a scale that goes that high. But BHSpringSolutions has done some things for this handgun that we think that if you own one of these handguns, you're going to enjoy watching. The first thing is our spring kit. If you own a 98DA or a 98DAC today, based on the known years of manufacture, you are due for a spring change. BHSpringSolutions does have complete Arcus 98DA and DAC spring kits. These include safety lever spring, extractor spring. That's going to be your first one to go. If not the compact recoil spring in the DACs, your extractor spring is going to be the first thing that's going to cause your pistol to malfunction. It is a high power extractor spring and a high power extractor, and that's a somewhat overworked spring. So you're going to want to replace that. You should replace all the springs in your pistol at the same time when you do. Our kit includes a light firing pin spring. These do have a mechanical drop safety, a muzzle drop safety, so a light firing pin spring is appropriate. We include a 26, and all of our Arcus 98DA and DAC spring kits include a 24-pound mainspring, and that's going to help lighten that double action trigger pull and somewhat sweeten the single action trigger pull as well. That is what has been installed in this one, and it includes the Arcus 98 trigger return spring, firing pin block spring, and the sear springs, the sear spring. And in this case, because it's a compact recoil spring, the compact recoil spring is a 16.5-pound spring. We have a shooter's kit version of this spring kit. It includes an 18-pound recoil spring that's good for plus P ammunition shooting if you get into any of that. So that's the spring kit that's available specifically for these pistols. We want to show you a couple of other things that we've got at BHSpringSolutions that are handy for this. Our BH Tool Solutions High Power Masters Pin Punch Tools. These are all of the exact right pin punches. There's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 different pin punches in this Master's Pin Punch Tools kit, and this is the exact pin punches you need for the entire pistol to do all of the spring changes. We wanted to show you a couple pretty special things, and these weren't are not commonly known as items that can be used to optimize your 98DA or 98DAC, but this is the RDIH extended slide stop for high power pistols, and it works in the 98 series pistols just like in the high power pistols. And now I have a slide stop that is going to put the slide stop back in easy reach of my thumb, whereas the original slide stop, it usually comes just short of my thumb reaching it. So now I have a nice extended slide stop, and by the way, this extended slide stop releases without having locked back the slide. So what you just saw is the fastest takedown in handguns. I don't even have to lock the slide back anymore in order to remove the slide stop, and just that simple and easily it removes and reinstalls. We have another RDIH product. This is the ambidextrous magazine catch for high power pistols. It works in your 98DA and DAC just the same, and this is a very easy, you just push in your magazine catch, take a small jeweler's kind of a screwdriver, and you're going to turn that screw counterclockwise, and you'll release that original magazine catch, and then you can install the ambi, and it's the same thing in reverse, and just that quickly. And even with the stock grips, the magazine, the ambi mag catch works out just fine. And nice way that the 98DA and DAC release the magazines and get them away easily. So one other item that we've got, we have a Master's Grips product. Oh, I wanted to say real quickly before we get to that, the Arcus 98DA pistols. A few weeks ago, I was at the Arcus plant in Laskovic, Bulgaria. And I got to see the building where they make pistols when they have production of handguns, and also got to see the area where they test these pistols. And every one of these, and this is really incredible for a mass-produced pistol, but I got to see every one of these pistols is tested with 12 rounds of ammunition. There is an accuracy component expectation of every pistol that comes out of this factory. Bulgaria is renowned for their quality of Makarov pistols, their quality of AK-47s, and consistency in build quality of firearms in Bulgaria is really a point of pride for the companies, for the country, for the people, and just quite impressed with what I saw over there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove these beauty pageant grips that Arcus puts on their military and police pistols, and we're going to see if we can do a little better. BHSpringSolutions has a Master's Grips product that we're getting ready to show you here, and these are walnut grips, contoured for fast correct hand placement on the grip frame, and we're going to doll this this Arcus 98DAC up just a little bit. So okay, we've got the stock grips off, and we're going to go ahead and set those aside. And this is BHSpringSolutions Master's Grips for the 98 double action compact. We've got these in checkered, and we've got these in plain like this. These are not high power grips. You do have a transfer bar here. It's different than a high power, and it's because of the double action, single action characteristic. And there's so much to show you about this. We're trying to keep this video short, but I did want to show you this. In spite of that long double action trigger pull, this pistol can be carried hammer forward in a military application, condition 3 with nothing in the chamber, and no safety on, so just deholster and rack the slide. Or it can be carried with a round in the chamber and hammer forward, no safety, draw, and immediately a double action trigger pull, and then everything else would be single action. Or you can carry half cocked with the safety on, pull off the safety, you have a shorter double action trigger pull. Or finally, it can be carried cocked and locked, which is the way I've carried it many times. And it just like 1911 or just like a high power, we scaled this trigger with the single action trigger pull. It's running 4 1/4 to 4.5 pounds, and it's just a very sweet short trigger pull for a double action, single action handgun. So okay, back to the Masters grips. Our Masters grips come today boxed as you're seeing them here, and they come with a polishing cloth. They come with new hex head grip screws for you, and we're just going to go ahead and install these real quickly and show you how these BHSpringSolutions modifications and upgrades for your Arcus 98DA or DAC can really do a lot for these Bulgarian, well, they're really military and police handguns, but like the high power and like the 1911, they can be a nice handgun for carry, for personal home defense. Okay, included with the grips is the BHSpringSolutions polishing cloth. And finally, we're going to go ahead and remember, these take high power magazines. Some of these pistols had a silver lower and a black slide. We have Metgar nickel magazines for those occasions. In this case, we've got also Metgar blued magazines. Now I'm going to go ahead with the Metgar magazine. They're a little bit more refined, little smoother feeding magazine than the Arcus magazines that come with it. And finally, there's an old school sheepskin rag or wipe rag called a rig rag. And these things come with rig grease already on them, and these were just made for the Arcus finish. In fact, when you rub the finish of the Arcus pistol with a rig rag, it is a game changer, and you can see what a nice presentation and a nice finish a rig rag will have on an Arcus pistol. And high power magazines, we have a gauge tool that will gauge the angle of your ammunition in your magazines. It's a wonderful tool for high power guys and Arcus 98DA guys who use high power magazines. We have a rubber and plastic head mallet for your work that you do, so you don't damage any finish. And that is a BHSpringSolutions optimized and upgraded Arcus 98DA in this instance. Hey, thanks for watching.